Creating a list of workdays is useful in many work situations. It excludes the default weekends, Saturday and Sunday. I am Nabil Murad. In this tutorial, I show you 3 methods for creating a list of workdays, whether static or super dynamic. So let's dive in. In column A, I want to create a list of workdays. So I start by selecting cell A3 and I enter a date, let's say the 15th of April 2024. I entered the date in cell A3 and in column B I have a function that returns the day of the week. Now I'm going to use a built-in tool in Excel that allows me to create a list of weekdays. To the right side of the Home tab, I click on the down arrow for Fill and I select Series. I want to create a series of weekdays, then I select Columns, I keep Date selected, and for now I'm going to keep Date to show you that's not going to return the workdays only. My step value will be 1, and my stop value, let's say, will be the 17th of May 2024. When I hit Enter, I would have created a list of weekdays. This list of weekdays shows the weekends as well. I have conditional formatting applied that highlights the weekends, the Saturday and Sunday, and here is the rule I'm using. Let's undo, and now I just want the workdays. So I go to the same tool one more time. I click on the down arrow for Fill, I select Series, I select Column, and instead of selecting Day, I select Weekday. My step value is 1 and my stop value will be the 29th of May 2024. When I hit OK, I would have created my list of workdays. If you look at every occurrence of Friday, it's followed by a Monday because it's excluding the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. This method is static. If I change the date in cell A3, nothing will update. I go to the next worksheet and I want to show you another static method which is even easier to create. I select cell A3 and I want to enter the same date, the 15th of April 2024, and then I hit Enter. In column B, I have the same function you see on screen that returns the name of the weekday. Now I want to copy all the way down. I hover over the Autofill handle in the lower right corner and I click and drag all the way down. And because I have conditional formatting applied, it highlights the weekends. And here is the conditional formatting rule I created. But if I scroll down to the last cell, there is a little options tag. And if I hover over this options tag, I can see a down pointing arrow. So if I click on this down pointing arrow, it will open a menu with lots of options. I don't want to increment one day at a time. I just want the weekdays, which means excluding the weekends. Then I select Fill Weekdays and I get exactly what I'm looking for. Using the autofill handle is another static method. Now let's move to the dynamic method. I go to the dynamic worksheet and in the dynamic worksheet I created a drop list in cell A3 from which I can select a year. I created a drop list in cell B3 from which I can select a month. And in cell B4, I created an XLOOKUP function that looks at the selected month and it returns the months in digits. I can show you the result of the function by changing the color to black. April is month number 4. This XLOOKUP function is looking at a range in column S and T that I'm hiding. If I unhide it, then it looks at the name of the month in column S and it returns a value in column T. I'm going to undo unhiding and I want to change this back to white color. And now you know that in cell B4 I have the number of the month. I want to explain the concept that I'll be using. If at any time I want to build a date, I use the date function equal date and then I hit tab. The date function requires 3 arguments. It requires the year that I'll be selecting from my drop list in cell A3. I type a comma. It requires the month. I'll be selecting the month which is the result of my XLOOKUP function in cell B4. And then I want the first day of the month and I type 1. When I close the bracket and hit enter, that's the 1st of April. I can format it, Ctrl+Shift+3. It's the 1st of April. I also want to explain another function, the sequence function, that creates a list of numbers. So in cell O1, I type equal sequence, and then I hit tab. I want a sequence of 25. When I hit enter, I get a list of numbers incrementing by 1 from 1 to 25. And just imagine adding 1 to the 1st of April, that returns the 2nd of April, adding 2 returns the 3rd of April. So what if I edit the date function? I hit F2 and instead of 1, I start at 0, which is the last day of the previous month. When I hit OK, then adding 1 returns the 1st of April, adding 2 returns the 2nd of April, and so on. I'm going to combine these two functions in a workday function. I start creating my list of workdays. In cell D2, I start typing equal workday. I hit tab. What's the start date? Let's build it with the date function. I type date and then I hit tab. I want the year coming from the drop list in cell A3. I type a comma. I want the month. This one comes from the XLOOKUP function in cell B4, comma, and I want 0, which is the last day of the previous month, as I explained. That's the start date of the workday function. How many days do you want? I type a comma, and here I type my sequence function. I hit tab, I type 25. I close the bracket twice, and when I hit enter, I get a list of workdays, which excludes the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and here I have a dynamic label, workdays for April. So what if I select a different month? Let's select August. This is the list of workdays in August. If I select a different year, let's say 2025, then I get the corresponding list of workdays. This method is super dynamic and you can control it by building any start date you want. If you found value in this tutorial, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel to be notified when new tutorials are released. The best is yet to come. Thanks for watching and see you next time.